down here thinking you take it.
I got $500 on my Anthem.
I've got
I
my
can
phone.
use for rides.
I meant for you to take it, but I guess I didn't set it over far enough.
And I used almost, I just got them done the first, July 1st, my teeth, I was 123 or 33 or something this time. It was
Jeanette, are
300
you ready?
in January or February. So I used those, only got like $80.
Everyone, please take your seats.
For the regular dental checkups, I think they let us do free checkup and cleanings, but then after that, I didn't come in with an HSA. So I have to pay something, but I like the fact that I pay so much of a percentage
Okay.
for my HSA.
This meeting of the Committee of the Whole will be called to order at 6:50. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen,
Here.
Mayor Murphy, Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Doherty,
Here,
Mr. Burchett,
Here.
Mrs. Witt,
Here.
Ms. Marcus.
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mayor Murphy from this meeting.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Doherty,
yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. We have, our next item is the approval of minutes for the Committee of the Whole meeting on June 26. If nobody has any changes or corrections, they will be approved as they are. Hearing none, they are approved. Finance Director, do you have a report?
I have nothing to add, Ms. Marcus.
Acting City Manager,
I have nothing to report, Ms. Marcus.
Acting Mayor,
Nothing to report, thank you.
Law Director,
No report, thank you.
Clerk of Council.
No report.
Okay, we'll move into business. At this time, anyone wishing to raise a question about any piece of legislation listed on this agenda will have 3 minutes at this time. All other topics to be addressed to council be heard later in this meeting. Does anyone have anything to say? Hearing none, we'll move on to the business. First item A, R-01-2025, zoning district change of 2705 Lehigh Place from R4 to B1.
Good evening again, City Council. There was a public hearing held earlier in the regular council meeting today regarding the zoning district change of 2705 Lehigh Place from an R4 district to a B1 district. Upon recommendation from the Moraine Planning Commission meeting held on May 20th, 2025, I request for legal legislation to be drafted as an ordinance for the July 24th, 2025 regular council meeting for a first reading and a vote to take place, as well as a second reading and vote to take place at the August 14th, 2025 regular council meeting. Thank you.
At this time, I make a motion that we table this vote until the next council meeting in light of the mayor being absent and the city manager.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes.
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
The second item is the 2025 property and liability insurance renewal.
Yes, Ms. Marcus, this city's property and liability insurance through the public entities pool, PEP, otherwise known as PEP, expires on July 31st, 2025. We've received the renewal proposal effective August 1st. The city of Moraine has been a member of PEP for many, many years. The renewal quote is for $257,530. This is an increase of $38,000 over 2024, but it's reflective of market conditions and additional exposures related to additional staffing, the purchase of vehicles to replace an aging fleet, and our building improvements and renovations. I'd like to ask for legal legislation to be created to continue the city's relationship with PEP and accept their proposal at the next city council meeting.
I make a motion that the necessary legislation be prepared for the 2025 property and liability insurance renewal as requested by the finance director.
Any questions or comments? Roll, please.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. And the next item, the supplemental appropriations for the property and liability insurance renewal is connected.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So again, the quote came in at $257,530, and the budget currently has $228,236 available in the line item for this purpose, which leaves a need of an additional $29,300. I'm requesting that an emergency ordinance be added to the next city council meeting for supplemental appropriations of $29,300 to the general fund budget for the PEP annual property and liability insurance renewal.
Questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to have legislation drawn up for the next meeting for the supplemental appropriations for the property and liability insurance renewal.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. The next item is the Moraine Codified Ordinances Quarterly Codification Supplement.
So this supplements the second quarterly update received since the new agreement with Walter Drain back at the beginning of the year. However, due to a backlog in files, the second update covers the first 5 months instead of the first 3 of 2025. So I'm requesting authorization to prepare an ordinance with an emergency clause so the changes may be adopted and go into effect immediately upon its passage.
Any questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we have legislation drawn up for the Moraine Codified Ordinances per the clerk.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. Next item is the 2025 Parking Lot Paving Program rebid.
This project consists of resurfacing and repairing the parking lots, as well as other improvements at the Street Division Building, the adjacent alley, and the building maintenance building. The apparent low bidder, with a total bid price of $213,959.97, New York Paving has done satisfactory work in Moraine and neighboring jurisdictions in the past, including a 10% contingency that the amount that the city manager can use to authorize potential change orders. This total amount would be $235,355.97. The existing budget for this was $150,000. After having discussed this with the finance director, Annetta, I would recommend that a budget transfer be created to reduce $60,592 from the annual street improvements account and increase the city facility improvements account, and to award the program to NERA with the accepted bid amount of $213,959.97, and approving a total of $235,355.97.
What caused the increase?
The construction materials, so this was actually a rebid because of how much higher the cost has become for this kind of work. And so we use a progression to estimate increases year over year. That far exceeded the estimates that we had when this budget was created.
Seems like a lot.
It is.
Any other questions or comments?
Do you feel it's justified to increase that much
I do.
from what you know?
These improvements will be a huge help to the streets department, especially since those tanks just recently came out, and as well as at the building maintenance building. It's really a big eyesore at this moment, and these changes will make it actually usable and improve some of the parking for the park behind it.
Okay, thank you.
Do you foresee this same issue happening with future bids throughout the year?
Throughout the year, There's not that many more to happen. This one is kind of it's more like a parking lot improvement program, so it's a little bit more of a lot of different items to it, which is why it made it a little bit more complicated and a bit more expensive. None of the other projects we have are as complicated as this.
And this will come out of capital improvement. We're okay with that?
Yes, it will, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to have legislation drawn up for the next meeting for the 2025 parking lot paving program rebid.
Roll call?
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
Yes,
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. Audra, we don't need a separate thing for the line item change.
You need a supplemental or?
No,
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 no transfers?
no, budget
Okay.
transfers are
Okay.
internal.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, the next item is the agreement for automatic mutual aid response services between the city of Moraine, Ohio and the city of Dayton, Ohio.
We've been recently sat down with Dayton Fire, and had some meetings with them because they were overutilizing our, ambulances and stuff for mutual aid to or automatic mutual aid agreements with them that was last, I think, dated in 2006. So we came up with an agreement, which I believe is attached in your supplement there, with our Dayton Engine 10 for our northern district, which is down the Dryden area, to be our second engine in on structure fires. And then we'll be first, second, and third engine due to their response zones in some of their areas. That way, it cuts down overutilizing us. A lot of districts around us are doing the same thing. We just can't, our call volume and theirs have both increased. We just can't afford to keep sending us over there.
So how often do they come to us?
Ambulance-wise, never, because they never have one available. They have came, structure fires, just our recent one, they sent 2 units. They actually did send a medic unit to that, to our Dovetree Fire. So if they're available, they'll come when we ask.
Chief, with that fire you were talking about, was it just the Dayton Fire Department that assisted, or were there other jurisdictions as well?
Oh, no, there was multiple jurisdictions for that.
You feel like this will help it be maybe not as one-sided as the agreement's been in the past?
Yes, they've already changed their run calls, their run cards at the dispatch center, and it has reduced probably 70% in the past 3 months as we've been talking to them for calling us.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? We have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we have an agreement, that we have legislation drawn up for the agreement for the automatic mutual aid response between City of Moraine and City of Dayton.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Doherty,
Yes.
Mr. Burchett,
yes,
Mrs. Witt,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Marcus.
Yes. Our
Thank you.
last item of business is the 2025 Main Street Bridge Repair RFP for engineer estimates.
Hello again. This request for proposals was for the Main Street Bridge that goes over the CX Railroad just north of us as you drive up the hill. Earlier this year, Streets Department noticed excessive deterioration at one of the bridge approaches. I've included photos in your packet that you can refer to. Because of this, we have accelerated the bridge capital plans for the maintenance and repair of this particular bridge. This will be a very expensive project, but if we start now, we can seek funding to help cover these expenses. The first step to getting the funding is to have a set of plans. This RFP is to create those plans. A request for proposal was sent to 7 different companies that have bridge construction backgrounds, and only one of those companies was responsive and able to provide a proposal. The first phase of plan production is testing of the bridge. Depending on the results of those tests, the second phase will be plan production with or without the wearing surface replacement. Including the 10% contingency, the total amount needed would be $93,060. I reviewed this with the finance director, Annetta, and would recommend that a budget transfer be created to reduce $45,000 from the annual street improvements account and increase bridge maintenance and repairs to award this project to Fishbeck for the amount of $84,600.
Questions or comments?
Is this the first repairs you've had to do, or?
Under my tenure, yes. I'm not aware of any previous repairs. We're also looking at the Springboro Pike Bridge over Holes Creek.
It's not something you could get a grant for, is it?
There are many grants available for bridge as a larger project, but for planned production, no.
Well, I make a motion that the necessary legislation be prepared for the Main Street Bridge repairs, as requested by the city engineer.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Burchett?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Ms. Marcus?
Yes. I have no other items of business. Anyone wishing to appear before council at this time? Please state your name and address.
Tom Watts, 3313 Outdoor Road. I've got a couple of questions for council. Number one, we have a lot of houses in the city right now that are currently not keeping up with landscaping, let's say, mowing, they don't mow their properties. And for some reason, the city uses our street departments to go around and mow all of those pieces of property, which ties up our street department employees from doing street department maintenance work that they should be doing. We're out here mowing residential homes. I don't know how council is aware of it, but get out and drive around and look at how prevalent it is all over the city. It's getting ridiculous is what it's getting. Our street department is undermanned right now. I know it is. And our streets are showing deterioration that our street departments can't get to. I want this council, as Mr. Miller said earlier, I want to plant a seed that this council, in its own body, starts looking into the hiring these things out to outside contractors. We don't need to be using our city employees to do this kind of work. It's meaningless to the city. Do we get taxes from those homeowners? Sometimes. But it's not worth having our street department tied up to do it. How many parks do we have in the city right now? 14? 14 parks in the city. 14 parks. You know who mows those parks?
Park, street department.
Street department mows those parks. How many vacant houses do you think's in the city of Moraine right now?
A whole lot more than 14.
A whole lot more than 14. I want our city council to think seriously about this. It's not like we don't outsource other jobs. The stripings of the street, that's an outside company. Elder Tree Cemetery, we have people outside of the city of Moraine takes care of that. I think it's something that we ought to look into seriously.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else wishing to appear before council? Does staff have anything to say? Oh, I thought sure Rocky would.
I was hoping Rocky would give a report.
We heard
Rocky,
about
are we
the
on
mess.
schedule?
Well,
Are we on budget?
Let's talk about this week. I
Are
know
we
some of,
getting new contracts?
not yet. I know a lot of you guys have heard whispers of what's happened this week. It's been a rough week. I apologize to everybody involved. I can't, I mean, I wish I could say I could have prevented it or something, but the contractors made a terrible mistake. They somehow, we lost the measures to be able to stop sewage from flowing upstairs through an open pipe. And a sanitary pipe that basically, what goes up comes down. So everything was running down through the floors, through the new areas where we were doing plumbing. They had cored around the new plumbing, the new pipes, and we were getting sanitary debris in two different areas of the building. The old dispatch, where we had just relocated everybody to try to prevent them from being affected from the construction process. It was a terrible mess, and I gotta thank Jason and Andy Parrish. They stepped up and they were right in the thick of it with me and Craig. My guy, it was a terrible mess. I want to apologize to Jerry Dunn. His room got affected. So it was not a pretty sight this week. I'm hoping that Greater Dayton steps up and they handle this the right way and they take care of us as a city. Any questions?
Did we lose any permanent records?
We did not lose anything, did we?
Good.
Nothing was lost. That was a priority for me, Jason, and Craig and Andy. In the mix of everything, we were doing everything we could possible to get paperwork out of the way of
The flood.
the flood. Yeah.
So do we
We-
have our IT department up running now?
So we had to displace a dispatch
Yeah.
for the time being. We're working as hard as we can. Todd and Ben are working as hard as they can, the IT department, on getting things back in order. This possibly may bring a faster resolution on getting dispatch back to their original place. I will say Greater Dayton's kind of try to push that forward faster to try to get us to be able to get in there. The problem is it's Todd and Ben are trying to work on getting them ready for the IT stuff in the new dispatch room while trying to save and recover what we can in the old dispatch room. So it's been rough. I gotta say, our dispatch workers, I can't apologize enough for what they've had to see and go through. It was rough.
Is the remediation company still there working?
They were there all day today, and I was doing everything I could to make them go above and beyond, to make it cleaner than it was when this happened.
Who are we using?
CertaPro.
Is the contractor taking care of the damage, or is the city gonna end up paying?
No.
So as of right now, the contractors are stepping up to the plate. They have been trying to be as helpful in this situation as they can for the time being. That's all I can speak for right now.
Are we off schedule now? Is this gonna be a big holdup?
No, it actually, if anything, maybe sped things up for certain different areas. So,
Is there anything good about it?
I mean, if you gotta look at something, that's possibly the one thing.
I say I'm glad I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And Jason wishes he'd still be at the FBI.
I'm thinking Chief of Police is glad that he's on vacation.
I think he and Aaron and Mike are all glad they're on vacation.
I believe so. Anything else? I guess you can see that the front of the building has gotten some new wrapping done to it, so we're getting some insulation done on the front of the building. So progress is still moving along. It's taken some of our guys, not our guys, some of their guys, and put them in different areas to help with this problem. But the rest of the construction part of it hasn't slowed down. They're still marching on. One more thing I wanted to give you guys a heads up. We did get the patio at the Civic Center epoxied.
Yes, thank you.
With that being said, it's kind of, we have other things in motion for that right now. We are updating the ADA ramps. So before we go and put the old handrails back in, with the help of our engineer, we are doing a joint venture on this, and we're gonna redo the ramps, make them more ADA compliant. We're putting new handrails up, so we don't wanna drill into our brand-new, fresh done patio until we can get the ramps redone and the handrails redone. So I just asked Seniors Club, please be patient with us for a couple weeks. We're working. Few things have kind of jumped in the way on this, weather being some.
Yes.
It's hard for them to paint and do epoxy on that patio area when you got thunderstorms and stuff coming in, so,
I think everyone understands.
yeah. So,
And we all appreciated it. It looked
Yes.
really good
yeah,
on
it's
Wednesday.
turning good.
We're
Yep.
looking forward to the finished product.
Yeah, it'd be nice. So,
Thank you. You've
thank
done a
you,
great
guys.
job in
Thank you.
adversity.
Appreciate it.
Any other staff member have anything to say? Okay, then we'll go into staff and council up here. I'll start with the finance director,
I have nothing to add, thank you.
director,
No report, thank you.
corporate council,
No report.
here,
Nothing to report, thank you.
acting city manager,
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Burchett,
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Daughtery,
Nothing else to report, Ms. Marcus, thank you.
Mr. Miller,
Nothing further, thank you.
Mrs. Allen,
Nothing to report, thank you.
and I have nothing else, so we will adjourn this meeting of the Committee of the Whole at 7:16.
Well, Brent, we didn't do too bad.